G'day, my name's John. I'm a tour coach driver here in Perth, Western Australia. I'm lucky. My job gets me to travel around the whole state and see lots of great things, and I'd like to show you some of them as well. So why don't you join me? G'day folks, how are you going? I always wanted to travel to the northwest of Western Australia, but I was concerned about the long distances, the barrenness of the area, and what would happen if I broke down. Would I be stuck out here for hours and hours or even days waiting to see another person? Now I got to do this trip a few years ago for the first time as my job as a tour coach driver, but we had a sat phone, so if I broke down I just needed to make a phone call. Then just sit back and wait until somebody else came along to deal with the problem. I was also travelling with another person that had done the trip many times, but I was still, let's say, a little apprehensive about my first trip, and I still am just about every time I go. So if you've thought of doing the same thing and are feeling the same way as I did, then maybe this video will help to take some of the anxiety away. We'll look at a few things of interest as we go north, with a couple of alternative ideas thrown in as well. As the video goes on, some links will come up to other videos of interest. Come on, let's go. That includes you. Let's go. There are two roads that head north out of Perth, so your first job is to decide what you want to do. If you head up the Great Northern Highway, you'll get quicker to Port Hedland and places above that. If you go up the coast, there's lots more places to see and things to do and lots more facilities. The next thing is, where are you going to stay? If you're in one of these, or a camper van, or a tent, there are plentiful caravan parks along the way, and there are heaps of free camping sites as well. Other than that, you have a huge choice of backpacker to hotel style accommodations that's right up there with the city comforts to suit your price. There is no need to rough it just because you're in the bush. What we're going to look at are some of the examples of what there is on offer in the north, but there are heaps of other things too. If you're heading up the Great Northern Highway, you should make a stop at New Norcia. The story of the monks coming out here is quite amazing and worth checking out some of the town. From here you can continue north or duck over to the coast and check out the pinnacles. There are thousands of these rock formations through this area. You can drive your car through here, or better yet, get out and walk. It's the best way to experience the beauty of the place. Consider stopping in Geraldton for a night or two. There's heaps to look at, including the HMAS Sydney Memorial. Kalbarri's worth an overnighter or two as well. There are the coastal cliffs and the stunning river gorges. From here we start to really get into the outback areas, but roadhouses are positioned around 100 to 250 kilometre spacings. Heading north, a turn off to the Shark Bay area is a must. Stop at Hamersley Pool, which is a caravan park, and check out the stromatolites. Without these, us humans wouldn't be here. Stop at Eagle Bluff for the views. The only town in the area is Denham, and the main reason that most people come here for is the dolphins of Monkey Mire. Back on the Northwest Coastal Highway, the next town is Carnarvon with its OTC, the Overseas Telecommunications Satellite Station, that played a major role in a number of NASA space projects. Our next stop is either Exmouth or Coral Bay or both. Coral Bay is right next to Ningaloo Reef, where at the right time of the year you can go swimming with the whale sharks or just laze on the pristine beaches. "150 kilometres up the road is Exmouth, which was the base for the huge American Communications Centre. Also great for fishing or just laying up for a few days to relax before pushing on. After leaving Exmouth, you can continue north to Karratha or take a detour inland to Tom Price. You can follow the blacktop through to Paraburdoo, or if you're using a GPS, it may show you a shorter route via a gravel road. It's a pretty big gravel road used by mining trucks. It could be a little bit corrugated to start with, but usually gets better as you go in. If you take the road, it will pass by one of the big iron ore mines in the area. Then when you get into Tom Price, you can book a mining tour from the Tourist Information Centre and see the processing plant where the ore goes to. You can get an excellent feed from the Tom Price Hotel, but a word of warning, the meals are for big mining men who are hungry. The reason for travelling to Tom Price is so that the next day you can go out to the Karijini National Park. For the next bit, fuel's in short supply, so it's a good idea to carry some extra. Karijini has a number of amazing vantage points and camping grounds. You could easily spend a few days here, but watch your step. There is a reason why the local rescue services have a permanent anchor point at the top of the lookouts. Don't become one of those that go too far and find out what they're used for. After leaving Karijini, you need to make a choice. Head out towards Newman and then turn left towards Port Hedland to get to Karratha via Whitnoo, or go back the way you came to Tom Price. Or go through Karijini and turn right at the Hamersley Gorge sign and check out the gorge. This road is all gravel and dusty, but usually it's in pretty good condition. Shortly after you make the turn, you'll go past the Rio Tinto experimental farm. Here they've found a way to use the excess water from the mines to start a new industry for the area. Continue along the road before arriving at Hamersley Gorge. While the whole area is just mind-blowing, Hamersley Gorge is a good area to be able to see how the layers of mud were set down over millions of years, then how the earthquakes have moved the earth up and down to create waves in the rocks. After Hamersley Gorge, it's back to Tom Price, or you can take the Rio Tinto rail access road to Karratha. However, if you do choose to take this road, you'll need to get a permit from the Tom Price Visitors Centre, or you can do it online. You need to do a little induction course, which isn't very hard at all. It's basically about the rules of the access road and some of the do's and the don'ts. There's no fee for this, but if you take the road, you'll save several hours and a few hundred kilometres driving. You'll also get a chance to see some of the monster trains that are running on the tracks around here. But remember, don't approach any trains, even if they're not moving. Just follow the rules and you'll have no problems. There are cameras and patrols on this road, so watch your step. Karratha is a large modern town, so a good place for resupply. It's the first city in the Pilbara with a population around 28,000. You can go out to Dampier, which is just up the road. Have a look at the Red Dog statue and read his story if you haven't seen the movie. Or go up to the Northwest Shelf Gas Project. This project supplies more than 1/3 of Australia's oil and gas production. As you head north into Roebourne, take the road to the left for a few kilometres to Cossack and have a look at the restored buildings of the first port in this area. This little place has an amazing history. Port Hedland is the next major town on our travels and is where the Great Northern Highway meets us up again. Here you can see the loading of the iron ore ships. Each ship takes about 4 train loads to fill. Tours are available. If you think things were barren before, you haven't seen anything yet. From Port Hedland to Broome, it's about 612 kilometres and there is very little along the way. Pardue Roadhouse is about 150 kilometres after Port Hedland, then there's another 167 to Sandfire Roadhouse, then there's another 321 to Broome. In the middle of the last part, there's the 80 Mile Beach Caravan Park. This is another one of those out of the way places that blow your mind away when you come in. With all that nothingness on the road, this is truly an oasis. Arriving into Broome is a little overwhelming. For what you've travelled through, it's a welcome relief to finally arrive here. Lots here to do, including pearl farm tours, flights out to the horizontal falls, camel rides on the beach, and even hovercrafts on the bay, to mention a few. There are a number of tour operators working out of Broome, so you are sure to find something what you're looking for. The sunsets on Cable Beach do it for me, with a good feed of fish and chips to finish the day off. Leaving Broome, the next town is Derby. From here you need to start keeping a good eye on the road for animals, and I don't mean kangaroos, I'm talking about cattle. If you hit one of them, it's all over Red Rover. If you see helicopters or planes buzzing around you, don't watch them, they may be herding cattle right into your path. On the way in, check out the longest water trough in Australia at 120 metres long, which could water 500 bullocks at once. And next to it is the 1500-year-old boab tree, which was once used as a prison tree. The huge tidal movement is something to see, and that would be from the jetty in town. Come here at the right time and you could see the power of the water as it heads out, and the drop in the water level at the jetty. From Derby, if you've got a 4-wheel drive, you could tackle the Gibb River Road, but it is for the experienced and well-equipped people only. Make sure you check the road conditions before you start out. For the less adventurous, we keep going on the Great Northern Highway. About 100 kilometres from Derby, you'll find another boab tree that makes the prison tree look like a child. Arriving in Fitzroy Crossing, a must-see is the Hamersley Gorge. This is the first of the spectacular river cruises available in the Kimberleys. The hotels in both Fitzroy Crossing and Halls Creek are a real surprise for their service and facilities. From Fitzroy to Halls Creek is pretty much just driving, with a couple of stops of interest along the way. And the China Wall out the back of Halls Creek is worth a look as well. Consider taking a detour to El Questro. You can stay at Emma Gorge, which has the glamping tents, or travel through to the station for full caravan park facilities. And while you're there, you have to do the Chamberlain River Cruise. Kununurra owes its existence to the Ord River project. The damming of the Ord River opened up the area to farming. You can go up to the dam and have a look around. There is more water in here than there is in Sydney Harbour. But the best tour is the one in the boat going back to Kununurra. And what better way to finish the day but to watch another northwest sunset on the Ord River. Now that's only a few of the things that are available up the west coast, and you can see there are heaps of different ways to get here. Travelling in the north, you need to watch out for livestock on the roads, huge trucks, the heat and your supplies. Not that it happens every day, but keep in mind that the next garage you get to might not have the fuel that you want, so you may need to go a little further. So don't run the tank dry before looking to fill up. The northwest is a hot, dry place. It also gets cyclones during the wet season around Christmas. It's one of the most isolated places, at least in Australia, if not the world. But it is also an amazing place to visit and can be done quite easily as long as you go prepared. Do some pre-planning before you leave and you'll have an amazing time. But for now, happy travels. If this trip sounds interesting to you, but you're not keen on doing it in your own car, there are a couple of companies that will actually do this trip from Perth to Darwin or Darwin to Perth. Just check to make sure the company you're booking with actually does the full trip.